Now number 4. Number 4 you do. Option D. You have selected D. A new study suggests that many commuters with cars will switch to public transportation if driving in the city became any more expensive. Yes, correct option D. But do you have any confusion? Should I explain it? Yes. Any confusion you have in number 4?
Yes, sir.
Look, confusion. The City Council of Nowheresville. Nowheresville is the name of city. The City Council of Nowheresville has proposed establishing toll booths on all of the major routes into the city. So toll booths means the booth by which tax is collected. Isn't it? Tax is collected, transportation tax is collected. So City Council has suggested establishing toll booths on all of the major routes into the city. The council's reasoning is that, what is the logic behind this? So this fee, the tax that is collected, so this fee will force many commuters to switch from private automobiles to the public transportation system. So whatever fee is collected from toll booths, so that amount will force, that fee will force many travelers, commuters means travelers, to switch from private automobiles to the public transportation system. It means, so due to expense, due to high cost, so they will stop using that is private automobiles, private cars, and in place of private cars, they will start using public transportation system. Isn't it? So here the question is, which of the following statements, if true, provides the best evidence that City Council's plan will be successful? So whatever plan the City Council has will be successful. Isn't it? So which of the following statements provides the best evidence? Which of the following statements gives the proof that yes, the City Council's plan will be successful? And why the City Council has proposed establishing toll booths? The reason given, the logic behind this is given, because the fee will due to high cost, the travelers will stop using private cars and they will use public transportation system due to the expense. So here indeed that is given. A new study, a new research suggests that many commuters with cars would switch to public transportation if driving in the city became any more expensive. Isn't it? If driving becomes expensive, then what the travelers will do? They will use public transportation in place of cars. So same thing given here. Isn't it? Whatever logic here given, same thing here given in number D. So D is the right option. Now number 5 you do. Number 5.
D, sir.
Option D.
D, sir. D, yes, sir.
Okay, let others choose.
Concern, sir, थोड़े बढाउन मिल्छ नि हजुर?
हजुर
सर त्यो माथि टप राइटमा एउटा एडिटिङ भनेर लेखेको छ नि सर, त्यसको राइट पट्टिको अप एरो एकचोटि थिच्नुस् त हजुर।
ए के भन्नुभयो कतातिर?
सर त्यो टप राइटमा एडिटिङ भनेर लेखेको छ नि सर, टपमा राइटमा हजुर।
टप राइटमा एडिटिङ, एडिटिङ,
त्यसको राइटको अप एरो एकचोटि थिच्नुस् त हजुर।
थिचे। collapse the ribbon भन्छ।
यस सर।
हो त्यसलाई के गर्ने?
त्यसलाई चाहिँ थिच्नुस् त हजुर, थोरै बढ्छ के हजुर स्क्रिन।
खै बढेन त, बढ्यो?
त्यसलाई थिच्नु भएन हजुर
एरोमा चाहिँ क्लिक गर्ने सर एरोमा
बढ्यो कि क्या हो बडा
बढ्यो हजुर बढ्यो
ए ल ए फेरि यता गयो ठिक छ अहिले
ठिक छ सर
ल ल ल विष्णु श्रेष्ठ डी इन्द्र सुवेदी डी सागर डी Option D, 3 of you have selected option D. Yes, option D is the right option. Correct option D. Look, do you have any confusion? Should I explain it? Explain पर्छ भने भन पर्दैन भने नभन्ने Should I explain it? हजुर Should I explain it? Yes. Look, Purushottam, which option you have selected? Nitesh,
डी सर डी
D. ल ठिक छ अब अगाडि बढ्ने
हुन्छ सर
ओके ल अब नम्बर 6 हेर ल ओके नम्बर 6 ओके लेट अदर्स चुज
सर डी को अप्सन पुरै देखिरहेको छैन एकचोटि
ल
सी सर
हजुर
अप्सन सी सर
ऑप्शन सी ओके let others choose ए पनि ए आयो सी आयो ए सी ल let me explain okay let me explain here you have in parts of South America vitamin A deficiency is a serious health problem especially among children so this is the fact isn't it this is the fact given in parts of South America vitamin A deficiency is a serious health problem especially among children this is the fact okay in one region agriculturists are attempting to improve nutrition by encouraging farmers to plant a new variety of sweet potato called SPK004. It means in one region of South America, agriculturists, that is the scholars of agriculture, they are trying to improve nutrition. How? By encouraging farmers to plant a new variety of sweet potato. And what is that new variety called? That is SPK004. So they are trying to improve nutrition by encouraging farmers to plant this variety, SPK004. And what is the feature of this variety? It is rich in beta carotene. This variety, new variety of sweet potato is rich in beta carotene. What is beta carotene? Which the body converts into vitamin A. Right? This variety is rich in beta carotene. Beta carotene is enough there in this variety. And the body converts beta carotene, changes beta carotene into vitamin A. Okay. The plan has good chances of success. So this plan can succeed. Since sweet potato is a staple of the region's diet and agriculture, in that region, what is the main diet? Sweet potato. Sweet potato is the main diet in that region. Your region ko main diet nahi sweet potato, isn't it? So whatever sweet potato, whatever varieties are being grown by the farmers, those varieties don't have enough beta carotene. So this new variety has enough beta carotene, isn't it? Okay. And the varieties currently grown contain little beta carotene. So whatever varieties are grown there, so those varieties have little beta carotene, isn't it? That is the scholars of agriculture, agriculturists, they are encouraging farmers to plant this new variety, isn't it? Because those scholars want to improve nutrition. And they know that this plan can succeed. Here the question is, which of the following, if true, most strongly supports the prediction that the plan will succeed? Isn't it? So the plan has good chances of success. This is only the prediction of the agriculturists. Agriculturists ko yo to prediction ho. So this is the prediction of agriculturists. Is it clear? So now from the given sentences, which strongly supports this prediction? This prediction, which strongly supports this prediction? That is, most of you have selected A, isn't it? What is there in A? The growing conditions required by the variety of sweet potato currently cultivated in the region are conditions in which SPK004 can flourish. About agriculturists, it means the experts of agriculture, scholars of agriculture, who have very good knowledge of agriculture, who have very good knowledge of agriculturists are those people who have very good knowledge of agriculture, isn't it? So they know that the growing conditions required by the varieties of sweet potato currently cultivated in the region, whatever growing conditions are there in that particular region, in those conditions, SPK004 can develop well. Isn't it? This variety can flourish well. This variety can develop well. Because whatever growing conditions are there, those conditions are fit, are suitable for this variety. And actually this variety is rich in beta carotene. Isn't it? So those agriculturists will be successful in improving nutrition. Is it clear? So option A correct. Our C kina chega. There are no other varieties of sweet potato that are significantly rich in beta carotene than SPK004. तो यो कुरो तो यहाँ दिए गई छ. छैन, यो त भनिराखेकै छ, this new variety is enough, is rich in beta carotene. Isn't it? This new variety is rich in beta carotene. It is already given in the text. यो त टेक्स्टमा दिएकै छ त. Isn't it? Everybody knows this. Agriculturists also know this is rich in beta carotene. यो त दिएकै छ यो कुरा. Is it clear? So which one strongly supports this plan? Your plan like कुनले support गर्छ? This one. A. Did you understand? Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
ल सागर. ल अब नम्बर 7 लाई हेरौँ. ल नम्बर 7 लास्ट होला. नम्बर 7. ऑप्शन डी. पुरुषोत्तम को सी आयो. डी आयो, सी आयो. लो अब हेरौँ. अब let me explain. I must explain it. अब हेरौँ यसमा. Here, near Chicago, a newly built hydroponic spinach factory, a completely controlled environment for growing spinach, produces on 1 acre of floor space what it takes 100 acres of field to produce. अब यहाँ हेरौँ. So here near Chicago, there is a spinach factory. There is a spinach factory, newly built hydroponic spinach factory. In that factory, there is controlled environment for growing spinach. Clear? And the very factory produces on 1 acre of floor space what it takes 100 acres of field to produce. Isn't it? So whatever spinach the factory produces on 1 acre of floor space, for that amount, for that quantity of spinach, so how much field is required? 100 acres of field. In that factory, only on 1 acre of floor space, then spinach is produced. But that, in order to produce that quantity outside the factory, so how much land is needed? 100 acres of fields. Okay. Expenses, especially for electricity, are high. In the factory, that factory is run by electricity. Outside the factory, it is not required. Inside in the factory, expenses are high, especially for electricity. Expenses are high. However, and the spinach produced costs about 4 times as much as West California field spinach. The factory spinach is it cost about 4 times expensive, isn't it? Factory spinach is 4 times expensive than California field spinach. It is 4 times expensive of California field spinach. 4 गुना महँगो छ. The spinach commonly sold throughout United States. Which spinach is commonly sold throughout the United States? California field spinach. Did you understand the text? So which one is expensive? factory spinach or field spinach? Factory spinach. 4 times expensive. 4 times expensive than the California field spinach. 4 times expensive. Okay. Yes. Now, which of the following, if true, best supports a projection that a spinach growing facility near Chicago will be profitable? So which of the following supports this point, supports the point that factory spinach will be profitable, than field spinach? Factory spinach will be profitable than field spinach. Which one supports? Actually, for factory spinach, expenses are high. Isn't it? Production cost is high. For factory spinach, production cost is higher than that of field spinach. Field spinach banda यसको महँगो छ. However, factory spinach will be profitable, more profitable than field spinach. Factory spinach will be more profitable than field spinach. So which of the following statements indicates this point? Which of the following statements indicates this point? Which of the following statements says that yes, factory spinach will be more profitable than field spinach? कुनले यो कुरो भन्छ? कहाँ दिएको छ? Did you understand the text? म text को कुरा गरिरहेको छु. I am not going to the options first. Did you understand the text?
के भनेको
Yes, sir.
बुझ्दैन सर.
के भनेको बुझिएन? कसले के भन्यो?
बुझेछ सर.
बुझेछ.
एकचोटि फेरि एक्सप्लेन गर्दिनु सर.
हजुर
एकचोटि फेरि एक्सप्लेन गर्दिनु.
अब यसमा अब म चाहिँ के त नेपालीमै भन्छु हैन? ल अब बोल्दा बोल्दा फेरि इंग्लिश मिक्स नै हुन्छ. ओके. अब यहाँ के छ भने फ्याक्ट्री स्पिनच र फिल्ड स्पिनच हैन? त फ्याक्ट्री स्पिनच कति एकरमा चाहिँ कि त त्यो प्रोड्युस गर्छ स्पिनच? 1 एकरमा. र 1 एकरमा जति स्पिनच प्रोड्युस हुन्छ त्यति स्पिनचको लागि बाहिर कति फिल्ड चाहियो त? 100 एकर चाहियो हैन? ल अब अर्को कुरो के छ भने फ्याक्ट्री स्पिनचमा प्रोडक्सन कस्ट के छ? हाई छ. सबभन्दा पहिला त इलेक्ट्रिक चार्ज, इलेक्ट्रिसिटी को कस्ट नै हाई छ. ठीक छ. अब that is overall in total spinach produce cost about 4 times as West California field spinach. Field spinach भन्दा 4 गुना महँगो फ्याक्ट्री स्पिनच छ. प्रोडक्सन cost of factory spinach is 4 times than California field spinach. California field spinach भन्दा 4 गुना बढी छ यसको प्रोडक्सन कस्ट. स्पिनच फ्याक्ट्री स्पिनच को प्रोडक्सन कस्ट. इज इट क्लियर? अब नाउ क्वेश्चन के छ? एक्चुअली क्यालिफोर्निया फिल्ड स्पिनच युनाइटेड स्टेट्स भरि चाहिँ के त बिक्री हुन्छ. ठीक छ. अब यहाँ के भन्छन्? व्हिच अफ द फलोइङ इफ टु बेस्ट सपोर्ट्स द प्रोजेक्ट? सो कुन स्टेटमेन्टले यो भन्छ कि फ्याक्ट्री स्पिनच will be more profitable than field spinach? फ्याक्ट्री में जुन चाहिँ स्पिनच प्रोड्युस हुन्छ त्यही स्पिनचले फिल्ड स्पिनच भन्दा बढी नाफा कमाउँछ. त्यो कुनले भन्छ स्ट्रङली? कुरा बुझ्यो त? Did you understand? अब कसरी हुन्छ हाई प्रॉफिट त? हेर अप्सन सी के भन्छ? Unlike vast field spinach, the hydroponically grown spinach is untainted by any pesticides or herbicides. Isn't it? So factory spinach is free from pesticides, free from herbicides, and thus will sell at exceptionally high price. अनि त्यो एकदम हाई प्राइसमा बिक्री हुन्छ to such customers as health food restaurants. Isn't it? And actually the customers of health food restaurants will buy this kind of spinach at high price. Isn't it? That's why this spinach will be more profitable. This indicates that. So this point indicates that spinach, factory spinach will be more profitable than field spinach. Unlike washed field spinach, it means field spinach is not free from pesticides. In field spinach, we can find pesticides, we can find herbicides, isn't it? Right? People, don't, that is health food restaurants, customers of health food restaurants don't want to buy field spinach. Isn't it? Actually, they buy factory spinach even at high price because that factory spinach is fresh and free from pesticides and herbicides. So they buy this kind of spinach at high price. So this indicates that that is factory spinach will be more profitable than field spinach. Yeah, is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Over here, supply the conclusion. Supply the conclusion. Yes. Well, let me tell you about supply the conclusion. All of you have read moral stories. Isn't it? Moral stories you have read. At the end of every moral story, there is moral given. Isn't it? And that moral is the conclusion of the text. That moral is the conclusion of the text. In your schools, you might have read in Nepali, यो कथा पढेर के शिक्षा पायौ हैन what you learn from the story यो कथाबाट के लर्न गर्यौ whatever you learn that is conclusion whatever you learn that is conclusion. So this is what you are going to find out. Whatever texts are given here, in the text you will find the details. And what do all those details indicate? What do the details focus on? What do the details focus on? Like focus गरिरहेछ. Isn't it? So whatever the details focus on, that becomes the conclusion. Is it clear? Right?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So, in order to find out the conclusion, you keep in mind the moral story. Every moral story has some moral. First story is given. First story is given. And what does the story indicate, focus on? On whatever point the story focuses, that becomes conclusion. Over here. Look, number one. Look at number one. First, you look at the details and you tell me, then I show you the options. Then I show you the options. Then other text you can easily do. You read this text and tell me what does it indicate. This is what you have to find out in the option.
यो एल्कोहल कन्जम्सनमा चाहिँ एडभर्टिजमेन्टको खासै रोल हुँदैन अथवा इफेक्ट हुँदैन भन्ने देख्छ सर.
हजुर.
यो एल्कोहल कन्जम्सनमा चाहिँ एडभर्टिजमेन्टको कुनै इफेक्ट हुँदैन भन्ने देखिन्छ सर।
एडभर्टिजमेन्ट को कुनै इफेक्ट हुँदैन।
हजुर सर, खासै नहुने जस्तो देखियो।
ल यो कसरी कुनै इफेक्ट हुँदैन यहाँ हेरौँ त। नम्बर 1 मा के भन्छ फर्स्ट सेन्टेन्स, सम स्टडीज इन्डिकेट, सम स्टडीज मीन्स व्हाट, सम रिसर्चेज, देयर हैव बीन सम रिसर्चेज, रिसर्च भएको छ, and those researches show that alcohol advertisement on television cause people to increase their alcohol consumption, isn't it? There have been some researches, and those researches show that alcohol advertisements help people to increase alcohol consumption. Due to advertisement, there is increment in alcohol consumption. This has been proved by the researchers. So can we say that advertisement has no effect? Advertisement has effect. Effect तो छ. Okay. Okay, you proceed. So you have only 2 sentences in this text. What do the details indicate? K indicate गरिरहेछ. You tell me in 1 sentence. Tell me the convincing sentence. So do these 2 sentences indicate the things differently? You tell me this.
Yes, sir.
Different कुरो छ कि छैन? Contradiction?
Yes, sir.
Yes, you find contradiction. On the one hand, it is clear from the first sentence that advertisement has effect, isn't it? Advertisement has effect on alcohol consumption. Advertisement को effect छ. So this is what the first sentence shows. Now, when you read the second sentence, you find something else, isn't it? So what is that? In Arcadia, there has been a ban on alcohol advertisement for the last 10 years. In Arcadia, what happened? There has been a ban on alcohol advertisement for the last 10 years. 10 वर्षमा ban लगाइयो. But alcohol consumption per capita per person is at least as high as in countries that do not have such a ban. Isn't it? So in Arcadia, there has been ban on advertisement for the 10 years, for the last 10 years. But alcohol consumption rate is the same. Alcohol consumption rate is the same. It has not been affected. हैन त? यही कुरो भने छैन? This is what we get from the second sentence. In Arcadia, there has been ban on alcohol advertisement for the last 10 years. Isn't it? So does this ban have any effect on alcohol consumption? Huh? Alcohol consumption per capita is at least as high as in countries that do not have such a ban. Wherever there is no ban, and whatever rate is there, same rate here also, in Arcadia also. Same rate of alcohol consumption in Arcadia also. It means not affected. Ban on advertisement, but that ban doesn't have any effect on alcohol consumption. इसको मतलब क्या था? Tell me in one sentence now. The first sentence says advertisement has effect. Second sentence says, oh, no effect. There has been ban on alcohol advertisement. To रोकने लाई दी, but alcohol consumption per capita same. अब advertisement ले बढ़ाउँछ भने फर्स्ट सेन्टेन्सलाई के गर्छ यो सेकेन्ड सेन्टेन्सले जन्टी अपोज गर्छ अब्जेक्ट द सेकेन्ड सेन्टेन्स अब्जेक्ट्स द फर्स्ट सेन्टेन्स if advertisement increases alcohol consumption, then why it happened in Arcadia? Arcadia में किन यस्तो भयो? जब एडभर्टिजमेन्टले बढाउँछ भने त्यहाँ त रोक लगाइसकेपछि एडभर्टिजमेन्टमा त नबढ्नु पर्ने, घट्नु पर्ने तर भन्छ अल्कोहल कन्जम्पसन पर पर्सन हैन अल्कोहल कन्जम्पसन रेट इज द सेम. What do you mean by this? Ajur? Okay, then how can you say that advertisement has no effect? Very, यहाँ तो एक नंबर में तो बनी है the first sentence. The first
Yes,
sentence
sir.
says that the first sentence says that advertisement has effect. We can't say that advertisement has no effect. है ना? किनकि यो कुरा पनि त रिसर्चले देखाएको छ नि. This has been shown by the research. यो त रिसर्चले देखाएको छ. The researchers have shown. So how can we say that advertisement has no effect? So what we can say, advertisement has effect, but we can't say that advertisement is everything. Advertisement is everything that increases alcohol consumption. There may be some other factors as well. This is what these two sentences focuses on. These two sentences focus on. Did you understand? The first sentence says that advertisement has effect. Second sentence says advertisement has no effect. It means advertisement is not the sole thing which increases alcohol consumption. There may be some other factors as well. This is the conclusion. Did you understand? Huh? So where is this given? In which option? You see. So this is the way you have to find out the answer. First, you try to find out yourself. What can be the conclusion? First, you try to find out yourself. Do it yourself. Then you look at the option. Which option matches yours? That will be the correct option. Yes. Option C, advertising cannot be the only factor that determines an individual's consumption of alcohol. It means there may be some other factors as well. Did you understand? Yeah. So by keeping this thing in mind, you read second text.
Option B.
Okay. Now let me explain. So yeah, political commentator. So political commentator says, in order for a democracy to flourish, it means for the development of democracy, it is essential that political and journalistic freedom of expression exist. It means for the development of democracy, political freedom and journalistic freedom of expression are required. Even if commentators voice ideas that do not support the current government, even if means although, although commentators, political commentators have ideas, have different ideas, and those ideas do not support the government. But the reality is, a society is strengthened by the variety of views expressed. A society can become strong only by the variety of views. Isn't it? This is the reality. However, our government continues to exercise or stranglehold on certain forms of speech. Our government has control on certain forms of speech. It is essential that the government loosen its control on the media. And now it is very necessary that the government should loosen its control on the media. Despite the potential short-term instability, if the government loosens its control on the media, then there will be instability in the country. And that instability will be short-term, not long-term instability. This may cause the country. It will strengthen the long-term health of the country. In the long term, it will be good for the country. What will be good for the country? That if the government loosens its control on the media, and it is very essential. It is essential that the government should loosen its control on the media. And if the government loosens its control on the media, then there will be instability in the country, but that will be short term, and in the long term, it will be good for the country. तो यो कथा पढ़ेर के शिक्षा पायो? What you learn from this, from the views of political commentator? What does it focus on? यो सारा डिटेल के लागि फोकस गरिरहेको छ, के हुनु पर्छ? Tell me in your own language. के हुनु पर्छ? Tell me in your own words. के हुनु पर्छ? यसले के लागि फोकस गरिरहेको छ? The government should loosen its control on the media. So this whole text focuses on this point. Ever last में के भन्छ? It is essential that it is very necessary that government should loosen its control on the media. Isn't it? The government should loosen its control on the media. So what is the meaning of loosen? Loosen को meaning के भयो? It should not have control on the media, or it should have some control on the media. Tell me.
It should have some control.
Yes, it should have some control. It is not complete control. Control to some extent. It means to some extent, it should free the media. It should make the media free to some extent. Isn't it? And to some extent, it should have some control on the media. To some extent, it should make the media free. To some extent, it should have its control on the media. So this is the conclusion of this whole text. So where we find this point? Your point हामी कुन अप्सनमा पाउँछौं? It should have some control on the media, and to some extent it should make the media free. So where it is given? यो कुरो कहाँ दिएको छ?
बीमा छ सर.
बीमा. The government needs to open the media. Media त खोल्नु पर्यो. And release its hold on certain forms of speech. It should release its control on certain forms of speech. It means on other forms of speech, it should have control. On certain forms of speech, it should have no control. On other forms of speech, it should have control. This is given in B. Any confusion? The option B. Clear? Now you read number 3. Shivam. Sorry. But now you look at C, and here, sorry, I have selected B, isn't it? Well, it's a very easy text, very simple. See, large national budget deficit do not cause large trade deficit. It means large national budget deficit have no effect on large trade deficit, isn't it? Have no effect. If they did, it means if they had effect, countries with the largest budget deficit would also have the largest trade deficit. So whatever countries have largest budget deficit, those countries would also have largest trade deficit. In fact, the reality is when deficit figures are adjusted, isn't it? When deficit figures are adjusted so that different countries are reliably comparable to each other, there is no such correlation. If deficit figures are adjusted, then this thing doesn't happen. It means large national budget deficit do not cause in a large trade deficit. This is the conclusion. The first sentence is the conclusion of the text. Isn't it? It is given in C. Reducing a country's national budget deficit will not necessarily result in a lowering of any trade deficit. Isn't it? The first sentence is the conclusion, and this conclusion given in C. So C is the right option. Okay. Vishnu Shrestha, did you understand? Vishnu, you have also selected B. Did you understand, Vishnu? Yes. Okay, good. Now, number 4. You 4 number karo. Number 4 you do. Manoj, Indra, Hari, Anil. You have selected Unisha. You have selected D. Unisha, Anil, Hari, Indra, Manoj. All of you have selected D. Yes, D is the right option. D is the right option. But does anybody have confusion? Shavane, I'll explain. If no confusion, let's proceed.
एकचोटि यसलाई एक्सप्लेन गर्दिनु न सर
ल ओके ल अब हेर्नुस् यसमा के छ the laws requiring the use of headlights during daylight hours can prevent automobile collisions. So use of daylights during daylight hours, use of headlights during daylight hours. It means use of headlights in the daytime. Use of headlights in the daytime can prevent automobile collisions. Isn't it? Now this is the law. Laws require this. Use of headlights in the daytime can prevent automobile collisions. However, in spite of this, since daylight visibility is worse in countries farther from the equator, whatever countries are away from the equator, in those countries, daylight visibility is worse. Worse means what? Worse comparative degree. The daylight visibility is worse than in the countries which are close to the equator. Daylight visibility is worse in countries farther from the equator than in the countries which are close to the equator. It means whatever countries are close to the equator, in those countries, daylight visibility is not worse. But daylight visibility is worse in countries farther from the equator. Is it clear? Any such laws would obviously be more effective in preventing collisions in those countries. So whatever countries are away from the equator, in those countries, such laws would work a lot. Such laws would be more effective in preventing automobile collisions. In which countries? In the countries which are away from the equator. Because in those countries, daylight visibility is worse. In fact, the only countries that actually have such laws are farther from the equator. So whatever countries have these laws are away from the equator than the continental United States. It means the continental United States is close to the equator. So in continental United States, this law will not work, will be less effective, isn't it? Because the continental United States is close to the equator, and only the countries which are away from the equator have worse daylight visibility, isn't it? And continental United States is close to the equator. So in the continental United States, daylight visibility is not worse, not so bad. Daylight visibility is not so bad. That's the thought, but not so bad. That's why such laws will not work a lot. धेरै काम गर्दैन, काम त गर्छ तर धेरै गर्दैन. Yes. Where is this point given? Which of the following conclusions could most properly drawn from the information given? The D much, the daytime headlight laws would probably do less to prevent automobile collision. काम त गर्छ तर कम गर्छ. In the continental United States than they do in the countries that have the laws. Right? Did you understand? Yes?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah. Now, supply the assumption. Supply the assumption. What I have told you about assumption. Assumption always lies in the conclusion. In the conclusion, there is a gap. And in that gap, the assumption logically fits. Assumption is always hidden. It is not seen. It is hidden. It is additional proof that fits in the gap in the conclusion. Isn't it? So previously we discussed the first text. Look at the first text again. Okay, here, isn't it? So what is the assumption? Therefore, the CEO has therefore initiated a plan to boost productivity by giving employees shares of the company as part of their pay package. Isn't it? So how to make the productivity high? By giving employees shares. Isn't it? By giving employees shares. So what happens when they get shares? So when the employees get shares, they get motivated, and then they work a lot, and then productivity is high. Isn't it? So here in this conclusion, we have only 2 points. One is shares to the employees, another is high productivity. But how it is possible? After getting shares, they get motivated and work a lot. Then there is high productivity. But they get motivated and work a lot is assumption, which logically fits here. First point, first idea, shares to the employees. Second idea, after shares to the employees, what comes? The employees get motivated and work a lot. And then what comes? There is high productivity. Isn't it? Yes. So they get motivated and work a lot is assumption. The same thing you have to find here. Okay. supply the assumption. So this text is very similar to the first text, very similar to that one. So you read and find out assumption. Which of the following is an assumption of the above text? So first you read this and find out the assumption. Then I show you the options. Then I show you the options. And what can be the assumption, you tell me in one sentence.
The employee can work hard.
Hazur,
जस्तो यो चाहिँ हेल्दी इम्प्लोइले चाहिँ बढी काम गर्न सक्छ भन्ने होला सर.
यसमा first you find out the main idea. Conclusion कहाँ छ? Where is conclusion given? Where is conclusion given?
कन्क्लुजन चाहिँ त्यही फर्स्ट लाइन नै हो सर.
First line is the conclusion.
सेकेन्ड रहेछ.
Second one here, therefore given. Company XYZ should therefore introduce mandatory exercise programs every morning in order to augment productivity. This is the conclusion. And in the conclusion, there is a gap. In that gap, what logically fits? Tell me that point.
एक्सरसाइजले चाहिँ मान्छे हेल्दी हुन्छ भन्ने कुरा चाहिँ अजम्पसन हो सर.
Oh, good. Right? Due to exercise, people and workers become healthy. Employees become healthy. Their health is improved. And then they work a lot. And then our productivity is high. Augment means what? Increase. Right? So they become. Ajay.
हेल्थ र जुन प्रोडक्टिभिटीको कुरा
हो
माथि मेडिकल स्टडीले फ्याक्ट भनेर दिएको होइन र.
हो त्यो त चाहिँ त्यो फ्याक्टै छ.
अनि फ्याक्ट नै त्यही भइसकेपछि त प्रोडक्टिभिटी बढ्छ भनेर एजम किन गरिरहनु पर्यो र सर?
हैन, यहाँ यस्तो छ, मैले के भने कि इन द कन्क्लुजन देयर इज अ ग्याप. कन्क्लुजनमा के हुन्छ? ग्याप हुन्छ. एन्ड इन द्याट ग्याप व्हाट लजिकली फिट्स द्याट यु हेभ टु फाइन्ड आउट. हाम्रो कन्क्लुजन यहाँ के छ कि कंपनी XYZ should therefore introduce mandatory exercise programs, compulsory exercise programs every morning to augment productivity, which means to increase productivity. This is the conclusion, therefore given. In this conclusion, we have only 2 points. One point is exercise programs every morning. Another point is high productivity. The exercise program every morning garaउँदैमा high productivity कसरी हुन्छ? Here, what is the second point? They become healthy. Their health becomes good. Their health becomes good. And if their health is good, they work a lot, and then there is high productivity. The number 1, exercise programs every morning. Number 2, good health. Exercise programs every morning bring about good health, and good health brings about high productivity. Here in between these two ideas, good health, this is assumption. Is it clear? Huh? Now
Yes,
you look at the options. Which option is assumption?
Option A, sir.
Yes, option A. Option A is the right option. Correct. Did you understand? Yeah. Now, number 2. Look at number 2. So you have selected D, A, C, C. Most of you have selected C. What is there in C? Interviewers can accurately identify applicants whose personalities are unsuited to the requirements of the job. Yes, correct option. C. Correct option. C is the assumption. Interviewers can accurately identify. The word accurately. The interview is an essential part of a successful. Mukesh has selected A. Anil Basyal has selected D. Look at this. The interview is an essential part of a successful hiring program. So for a successful program, interview is essential part. Why it is essential part? Because with it means with interview, job applicants who have personalities that are unsuited to the requirements of the job will be eliminated from consideration. So what kind of job applicants are eliminated from consideration? So those job applicants whose personalities are unsuited to the requirements of the job. Whose personalities are unsuited to the requirements of the job, those job applicants will be eliminated from consideration. Isn't it? सीधे ही भन्या छ कि those job applicants whose personalities are unsuited to the requirements of the job will be eliminated from consideration. अब यो कसरी क्लियर भयो कि सीधै job applicants को personalities unsuited to the requirement. Isn't it? So in this, that is in this is one sentence text, isn't it? And in this very text, here you see, actually interview is an essential part of program, successful program. This is conclusion. This is conclusion. Now in this conclusion, there is a gap. A gap ke cha? So what is the gap here? What is given? Job applicants whose personalities are unsuited to the requirement will be eliminated from consideration. So those job applicants whose personalities are unsuited to the requirement of the job, those applicants will be eliminated, will be removed. They will not be considered. They will be removed. कसरी सीधै unsuited to the requirement of the job. यो त क्लियर छैन, बीचमा त छ के? Who have personality, who have personalities unsuited to the job. कसरी unsuited to the job हुन्छ त? यही हो कि interviewers can accurately identify. Interviewers can accurately identify the applicants whose personalities are unsuited. They can accurately identify, and only then they will be eliminated from consideration. सीधै unsuited to the requirement of the job कसरी भन्ने त? The interviewers can accurately identify. Then they are eliminated. Only then they are eliminated. Is it clear? So this is assumption. Why not D? The D ma ke cha? The only purpose of an interview is to evaluate whether job applicants' personalities are suited to the requirements of the job. यहाँ त हाम्रो यो कन्सेप्ट छैन, यसमा के दिया छ? अनसुटेड, हैन? यसमा आइडिया के छ कि पर्सनालिटीज, their personalities are unsuited to the requirement of the job. Their personalities are unsuited and they will be eliminated. how their personalities are unsuited. हामीले त्यो खोज्नु पर्यो नि. How their personalities are unsuited, the interviewers can accurately identify. Isn't it? So that's why this one. Why not a hiring program will be successful if it includes interviews. यो त सिधै स्ट्रेट फरवर्ड सेन्टेन्स छ, फर्स्टले दिया छ. Interview is an essential part of program. Isn't it? This is conclusion, but in this conclusion, ideas are given below. And in these ideas, there is a gap. What logically fits in the gap, that we have to look for. यो त ग्यापमा फिट हुँदैन, यो त त्यतिकै यही दिएको छ सेन्टेन्स. The interviewers can accurately identify whose personalities are unsuited. Then they are eliminated from consideration. Did you understand? Yes. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Our now number 3. अब अघि सरले चाहिँ कि त अब अर्को मिटिङ छ भन्दै हुनुहुन्थ्यो, म अहिले नै छोड्छु अब.